What's going on, everybody? Jeff Holiday here, and today I've got a special treat for you. And you're going to notice in this video, I'm going to be using some very careful language. I'm going to avoid making too many declarations of possible wrongdoing. I'm going to skirt around them a little bit. Why? And largely this is because of what I'll reveal at the end of the video. But today, we're going to feature somebody who's a little special. This, ladies and gentlemen, this is Dr. Colleen Huber. Now, she is not a medical doctor, not an MD. She is an NMD. And while some people might try and claim that means naturopathic medical doctor, for the sake of this, I think we should just stop giving them that little bit of credit, and instead we'll just say the NMD means not medical doctor. And yeah, you're gonna be Ms. Huber for this video. Yeah, we'll go with that. Now, on first glance, it'd be really easy to simply look at Miss Huber and say, well, okay, so she's a naturopath, and she just believes in like the naturopathic medicine ideals, and otherwise tries to throw away all regular established mainstream medicine. But you would be missing out on some very large pieces of the puzzle, and why she stands out as somebody very special. Very, very special when it comes to the types of things we talk about on this channel. Let's just start off with this video. Now, this is from a documentary called Cancer Can Be Killed, and this is a segment where the filmmaker talks to Miss Huber.
First up was a clinic in Tempe, Arizona that I had heard had a 90% success rate treating cancer naturally.
That's right. There is a claim by this clinic in Tempe, Arizona that they can treat cancer with a 90% success rate. Now remember that, because that's going to become very, very, very important soon. Very soon. But
what it's very important for us to do, and the reason that we're having more success than the chemotherapy oncologists, is we're not giving cancer an opportunity to detour. We're not giving it an opportunity to escape down one of its usual pathways.
Cancer can escape down its usual pathways. Well, I was pretty sure when cancer takes hold in the body and starts to grow, it grows from there. It's not like it can flee. Cancer doesn't have legs or little tendrils where it can crawl through your body. And that doesn't make any sense.
But we're surrounding it on all sides, all the ways, the multifaceted ways in which it attacks the body. We're addressing all those simultaneously. So cancer has nowhere to run. You know, it has nowhere to mutate to.
That's kind of a mushmouth idea. Not really saying anything when you say things like that. But okay, I'll break it down. She likes to use IVs, and we'll deal with the IV situation here in just a minute as well. But let's first get an idea of kind of how she operates. So this lady up next, she had cancer and she contacted Dr. Huber. Just listen to this.
So they said, please just talk to this doctor, this naturopath in Arizona. You can just do a consult over the phone. It was, I don't know whether it was $150 or $300.
You don't know if it was $150 or $300. Really? That's fascinating. And if there's one thing that I've noticed, a lot of these like cancer success stories that you always see in these videos, they always look like people who have a lot of money. People who are like, oh, $150, $300 to talk to some person on the phone? Sure, I got that.
She'll talk to you an hour, and just, what could it hurt? You know, you have to wait to have the surgery anyway. They're not going to start the radiation till after your surgery. Just talk to her.
What could it hurt? $150 to $300. That's how much it could hurt. What are you talking about? Okay, so much like all the other alternative health practitioners, I'm trying to use very careful language in this video. They you know, consultations, very expensive consultations, and then, you know, come down to my clinic and do this and do that. Well, next we're going to be this face is killing me. Next, we're going to be listening to this guy. This is the dude who made the documentary that this clip is from. He's got some interesting ideas, but it's also ideas that Miss Huber believes. So,
Cancer bad. Need to remove everything with cancer, and then scorch everything else so cancer never come back.
I like how he's trying to describe traditional medicine as if, like, doctors are cavemen. It's wonderful. But check this out.
But a doctor says, that's interesting. There's cancer growing in there. I wonder why.
Yeah, somebody slipped and got a little cancer on him.
What is out of balance in the body that we need to bring back into balance? And once it's back in balance, the cancer will have no room to grow.
That is not physically possible. That's not how cancer works. Cancer doesn't give a shit if there's no room for it to grow. It grows anyway. That's one of the reasons why it disrupts body function. That's why it can be harmful and kill you. That's the whole... Oh my god. I'm also... My pause game right now, on point.
You know, and it's possible to do the testing to find out why cancer's growing, what the body needs, and how to starve the cancer.
Okay. And this also gets into the overarching belief by a lot of naturopaths that effectively it's sugar that makes cancer grow. Cancer feeds on sugar. But let's skip ahead just a little bit here, and we're gonna go right about here.
Eliminate all forms of sugar from my diet.
Mostly at this clinic, we use intravenous nutrient treatments that are specifically targeted to people's cancers.
That's right. Intravenous injections, IVs full of stuff to specifically address whatever cancer that person at the time has and what type of cancer. Now, this isn't actually a viable treatment, but let's just get a little bit more. We want to make sure we're not misrepresenting what she believes, and then we're going to get into who Miss Huber really is.
Our strategy is to work with the metabolism of the body, and that is, if you work with the normal metabolic processes of the body, you are going to be able to defeat cancer more easily. Why? Nobel Prize winner Albert Warburg showed us in...
I don't even know what mushmouth shit she just said. I really have no idea what she just said, but like, here, hang on.
The 1930s, that cancer is basically a machine. It exists, as Stephanie Seneff, PhD, pointed out.
Stephanie Seneff. Now, if you don't remember that name, well, here, this is Stephanie Seneff. Stephanie Seneff here is not a doctor. She's a computer researcher and programmer who very famously said that in the future, half of all children are going to be autistic. She's also a regular on damn near every single pseudoscience quack bullshit goddamn documentary on the planet. She's a very, very much favorite of mine, and she's a lunatic and an idiot, and she doesn't know what she's talking about. But by all means, you go ahead and you cite what she has to say. What does good old Stephanie have to say?
Exists for the purpose, perhaps, of converting excess of glucose that the body cannot tolerate to lactic acid. It's a machine that does that function. It does it inefficiently, and unfortunately, that machine really interferes with the machinery of the rest of the body.
I mean, I don't know about you guys, but when I'm trying to find answers for surviving cancer, I first ask a computer programmer, and then I ask a naturopath. Yeah, that's a good idea.
What I especially wanted was for cancer patients to be able to have an alternative to treatments that are very toxic. And I wanted it to be affordable to them. I wanted it to be an alternative. If I have cancer, I do not want toxic treatments myself.
Yeah, but here's the problem. Most of the time, if you have cancer, there are some not nearly as severe drugs that you can take, but also largely what doctors are going to tell you, what oncologists are going to tell you is you need to take care of yourself, change your diet, make sure you're living as stress-free of a life as you possibly can so that you can support your own body's natural immune system to try and fight it off, and hopefully it will. Hopefully it will. But if it is so severe that none of those things are going to work, and nutrition is not going to work, and all you have left is radiation and chemotherapy, then your choice is that or die. It's not complicated. So let's get a better idea of Miss Huber, her claims, and the problems with them. So over here we got ColleenHuber.com, her borderline blogspot website. But over here, you know, Colleen Huber, NMD. Colleen Huber is a naturopathic medical doctor in Tempe, Arizona. Her clinic, Nature Works Best Cancer Clinic, has had the most successful results of any clinic in the world, reporting its results over the last 9 years. Oh, really? She also authored the largest and longest study in medical history on sugar intake in cancer patients, which was reported in media around the world in 2014. Let's take a look real quick at this study. Well, here it is. Glycemic restriction in cancer patients, a 7-year controlled interventional study. Now, I don't know if you guys know this, but one of the best ways that you can tell that it's actually a very good scientific paper is when it's got a glamour shots photo at the top. That's how you know it's real good. But this is pretty fascinating. This is an interventional study of 317 human patients at one clinic. Oddly enough, her clinic, a study on human patients, which is interesting because it's effectively admitting to human testing, which there's a few problems with that as well. But when you start looking into this study, a lot of problems actually start to arise. Their methods are shoddy. Their results are grossly misinterpreted and horrifying, and effectively their conclusion is wrong. And I'll let somebody else explain why, because this is really rather brilliant. So this here is a comment left by Thomas Moore, and he is an oncology researcher at the Medical University of Vienna. Now, he looked into this study, and this is his comment. The data are difficult to estimate, but from the overall table, one can conclude that there is complete information on 247 patients, which is not all the patients that she actually cites in this study, but there's 247 with complete information. Of those, 78 died. 78 died. Of these, 13 died in the state-of-the-art treatment arm, and 65 died in the naturopathy arm. And this is dealing with the study itself. Putting aside the ethical issues of the extremely bad study design, the lack of ethics committee approval, or patients' agreement, a quick and dirty analysis of the data reveals the following odds ratio: 2.1 in favor of state-of-the-art treatment. So to try and say it another way is when you dismiss all of the different case studies that she puts out there that don't have complete medical histories, you cannot verify, and otherwise just seem completely shoddy, the actual results that you end up getting, if you don't do what she tells you to do, you have a 2-fold higher survival rate in living through your cancer. Yet oddly, this gets promoted as her clinic having a 90% success rate. Woo! Oh, but you see, it gets worse. You see, in order to do a lot of these studies, basically your research needs to be approved by an institutional review board, right? So that's fine. That's fine, because as it turns out, Miss Huber here is actually a founding member of a naturopathic institutional review board. That's right. And it just so happens that they apparently are the ones that were approving her research. I mean, one might say that there's a conflict of interest there. One might if they were so inclined. I, of course, am being very careful in this video not to make any firm declarations. But, you know, the board, it also oversees several other naturopathic organizations, including the Naturopathic Oncology Research Institution. And it was actually registered with the FDA, but effectively, this is you could say, way of having a legal protection for your own vaguely human experimentation-ish shoddy research, not actually supporting its own conclusions, kind of dog shit, bullshit, lying quackery. But you could say that. I wouldn't, of course. Just wait. But here's the thing. Here's the beautiful thing. And one of the reasons why I really want to make this video about Miss Huber. You see, she also has this little organization called the Naturopathic Cancer Society. Well, what's that? Oh, let me tell you. The Naturopathic Cancer Society over here is a website. It's a 501c3. It's a charity, kind of. Now, here's the problem with it. You know, you go to the website, it looks pretty basic, you know, doctors, financial transparency, informed consent, click and pledge, etc., etc. And what this is this is effectively a charity where you can give money, and that money is going to go to cancer patients to help them pay for naturopathic treatment. Yeah. Okay, sounds fine. I mean, obviously, naturopathic medicine is dog shit. But the problem with this is the real problem. 80 cents of every $1 goes to support treatment grants that allow people to get research-proven naturopathic treatments. Okay. Earlier, it says 85%, but 80, okay, fine, whatever. So we can say that 20% of their operating costs are covered, whether it's paying the people who run the charity or for the website or whatever. And then 80% of it, or 85, depending on where you're looking at on the website, it's not very clear, is going to these patients. But that's not exactly true. It's going to paying for their treatment. And where are they going to get treated at? Probably at Miss Huber's clinic. And I don't think that's an unfair thing to say. Let me show you why. Because not only is she the founder and president of this society, but they've even tweeted out on Twitter that if you need to, you can get this treatment at Miss Huber's clinic. So let's break this down one more time. We got this woman here, Miss Huber, who is a NMD, not medical doctor, who publishes research that does not actually support her claims, and a lot of times is being published in predatory journals. And when you account for the fact her own research shows that you're better off using traditional medicine, okay? She's got that. Then she's also on the founding board of a review board that then helps to support her doing this research. Then on top of that, she is the president of a charity that collects up money from people, and the money that would go to the patients very likely, allegedly, could be then turned around and used to pay for that treatment. And when that treatment is being paid for, that money then goes to her clinic. Now, if this sounds a little suspicious to you, I don't blame you, and I'm right there with you. It does seem a little suspicious, and it actually sounds, if one were to take that opinion, that it could be quite a successful grift. Of course, I'm not specifically saying that. Not at all. I'm not saying that she is a liar or in many ways thieving people out of their money to pay for her own treatments, and then the money goes to her. Now, I'm not saying any of that. I'm saying that it could look like that to a passive observer who actually knows everything that you're doing. One could come to that conclusion. Now, why am I being so careful in saying these things this way? Well, let me show you why. You see, Miss Huber is suing Britt Marie Hermes, who runs Naturopathic Diaries. And if you're not familiar with her, she's wonderful. I'll put some links to her in the description below. But she is an ex-naturopathic doctor who decided that they were no longer going to be dealing with woo-woo magic bullshit, and instead are now working on a PhD in a relative biomedical field. And Miss Huber here really doesn't like her. So not only has she tried to cyber squat on several domains that could be attributed to to Miss Hermes, but is also filing cease and desist and wanting to sue for defamation. So this charming woman seems a little eager to be litigious and throw around lawsuits. So because of that, I think it's pretty important to be very careful in how we talk about her. So now I hope you can see why exactly I wanted to make this video, because not only is this a very telling story of potentially, allegedly, interaction between a charity and a for-profit naturopathic clinic, but also someone who is so butt mad and ass hurt about somebody countering their bullshit that they're actually willing to sue. So because of that, you know, maybe it would be better if when somebody decides that they're going to go and Google Miss Huber, instead of finding necessarily the god awful Blogspot style website for this doctor, and instead maybe they find this video. By the way, you're welcome for all the free advertising there, Miss Huber. Anyway, that's going to be it for me today, guys. Thank you so much for your attention. Really appreciate you. Hope your family is well. And from mine to yours, have a great day. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye, everybody.